Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Shannon and this is Made by Boo, where I talk about whatever it is I'm making right now. Today I have some knitting, crochet. I have acquired some new fiber for spinning. I still have some spinning I need to finish. I'm hoping to be able to show that soon. But for today, I will just dive right in. Hopefully there's not too much glare on my glasses today. I don't normally wear them for filming because of that, but so I have 4 works in progress to talk about today, 3 finished objects, and just a couple of acquisitions. So my first, sorry, I put my labels just out of reach. There it is. I'll tell myself I'm going to edit this out and then I'll end up not editing it out. Alright, so I seem to be missing a label, but not for my first one. My first finished object is a pair of socks. The yarn is from FanGirl Fibers. It was part of their Star Wars Day offerings, and this is the colorway A New Hope. I had made and shown one before, and then for Sock Week from Love and Stitches Nitty Natty, I decided to try to make the other. I'd never done an entire sock in a week because I usually have them as kind of like car knitting, where it just sits in my car. I work on it a little bit here and there, and I mean, I don't normally even like take it into movies or restaurants or anywhere when we go somewhere. It's literally just if I'm sitting in my car, like I got to work early or sometime on my lunch break, something like that. But I decided to try it, and I cast on, got through, I think about this much or so by the end of Sunday. And then I ended up not going into work on Monday. I wasn't feeling great, but I was able to knit and managed to completely finish the sock just on Sunday and Monday, which, I mean, it was pretty much the only thing I did then, but I was very, very happy. So these are just a basic pair of vanilla shorty socks. The colorway came with 2 minis, so it has the purple, and then I did a 3-3-2-2-1-1 of stripes. Did a heel flap and gusset, nothing special about it. All the way down to the toe where I did the other mini, which was gray, so it was 1-1, 2-2, 3-3, and then a rounded toe in the gray. The next finished object I have not shown on here before, and I cannot find the label for this yarn. I do know what it is. So these I also made during Sock Week, and they are a pair of super shorty Skimmer Socks. I don't think I have the pattern anywhere. I'll see if I can link the pattern down below. I found it on somebody's blog a long time ago, and I've made a couple of pairs previously, but they always fit kind of a little bit loose, so I was deciding, all right, I'm going to try one more time, shorten the sole part of it and see if they fit a little better, and these fit so beautiful. So I actually finished this pair as well during Sock Week. So I actually got 3 socks, all tiny socks. So it's a little bit less impressive, but still very impressive for me. The yarn that I used was a sock set from You Knit, I Dye, and the color was I Love Love. So the pink part here, I know it's not going to pick up all the pretty little speckles, but you have pink and white, and then there's purple, some like neon green, red, blue, like dark red. The speckles in there are just gorgeous. And then just a pretty purple pop up on top for the ribbing. So that is already 2 finished objects. My last finished object is my Mussleburgh Hat. The pattern is by Ysolda Teagues, and I used yarn from Evergreen Yarn Studio. This was the color Galaxy. And I think I know I've mentioned before, they do seem to have two different versions of the color Galaxy and Dark Galaxy. This one was labeled Galaxy, but I think they may have changed to have Dark Galaxy as well afterwards, because when I saw pictures of Dark Galaxy, it looked more like this, and Galaxy seemed to have a lot more white. So I have already blocked this hat. I used magic loop on the crown and then a 16-inch circular. I believe I was using 3.5 millimeter needles. I've never knit a Mussleburgh before. I was kind of hoping it would be a little bit longer. We'll see how well I can put it on over my hair. So this is one of the reasons I do not frequently wear hats, is because I have a lot of hair and I always feel like I can't quite get my hair to work with it. So it fits pretty good, not over the bump of hair I have going there. I was kind of hoping it would be a little bit longer to have a better fold over in the brim. But what I was doing was working by the weight of the yarn. So I cast on, weighed how much yarn I used for the crown, and then kind of gave myself a little bit of a buffer for finishing it off. This is how much yarn I ended up with left. I believe it was about 5 grams. So clearly I gave myself more than enough of a buffer. I do like the hat. I do not know if I'm going to end up wearing it a lot, because I do not wear a lot of hats. I have a lot of hair. Wearing hats over them is not always easy, but it's also July. So I'm not going to make an actual decision on whether or not I am going to wear this beanie until it gets cold. If I decide that I'm not really going to wear it, I still enjoyed knitting it. I will probably make another one because it was a great way to use up some of my fingering weight yarn. I actually do have one right here that I think would make another great Mussleburgh hat. I just have not cast another one on yet because I have a few other projects, which I will get to in just a minute. But if it turns out that I don't think I will actually wear it, I will gift it away. Beanies, especially when you live somewhere cold, there's almost always somebody that could use a beanie. So I'm not really worried about that, and that's probably why I will continue to make more. All right, so into my works in progress. Go ahead and start with the easiest one to grab. I think I am still connected to some yarn. I am. So this is what I am calling my data blanket. I talked about it a lot more last time, so I'm going to just kind of keep it simple. The basic concept is similar to a temperature blanket, but using data from testing that I'm doing. I've got my, oh, he's backwards. Where is he? Little pigeon. It's carved onto wood, so he may be hard to see. And he's being shy. There we go. There we go. So I've got my little pigeon stitch marker that I don't know why I tried so hard to show it. He clearly doesn't want to be seen. But that is where I was last time. I am still within my first set of tests. So I'm still not sure if this is going to be including all kinds of tests I take or just from one particular group. We'll kind of see. Once I hit the end of the first set of tests, I'll have a better idea of about how long it's going to be. I am really enjoying the way it's turning out. It is using just a simple single crochet with a Furls candy shop hook. I cannot remember what size this is. Each candy shop hook has a completely different color and carving based on the size. But I don't remember off the top of my head which one that is. It was the one that worked well with this. And I am working on this using Cascade Heritage Yarns. My label is not going to be very good. I have a total of 16 different colors for working on these projects. I may not bring this one out every time because the progress is going to be very, very slow, especially while I am catching up and continuing to take extra tests, but I'll try to bring it out periodically to show you guys how I'm doing on it. So yeah, that is my data blanket. The next work in progress I have, I know you have also seen before. So these are, I have one finished, and I'm getting very close to finished with the next one. I'm hoping to be able to finish them this week. So this is the Love Story Socks. The pattern is by the Crazy Sock Lady. So here's my finished one. And I am on the foot of the second sock. So you can kind of see it's 3 pattern repeats but 6 stripes on the foot, and I just finished stripe 3, or I'm almost done with stripe 3. So I'm getting very, very close to done. Unfortunately, when I was using my blue, like, I was pulling from the middle of the cake I'd done, and a huge amount came out. So I'm a little extra tangled right now. I feel like I kind of lost a little bit of steam. This is where they were when I showed you them 2 weeks ago, so clearly I've made a lot of progress. I finished the first sock, and I felt like I was doing really good, and then I started doing the cuff again, and I felt like I lost a lot of steam, and granted there was Sock Week socks as well, but it just kind of, I don't know, it just felt like I don't want to do a whole nother sock. Then I got to the leg, and the pattern, like, I've managed to memorize the pattern now. I can kind of read what I need to do. I feel like it took me way longer to realize the way that it was working up than it should have, but in my defense, it's a 16 round repeat, so realizing how to read it and know where I am was nice. Then I got down to the heel of the second one, and it kind of got into the, it's taking forever again. But the heel really didn't take me very long. So I'm hoping now that I'm on the foot, I will go back to zooming, because this pattern part seems to zoom right along. And I would really like to have these finished so I can block them, and I mean, they're pretty tall socks. I don't know if I'll really want them in July, but I would really like to have these done. I like the way they look. They have a great squish to them with the pattern. And they are using Twisted Yarns. This is the Sparkle Sock in Time Traveler Blue and Temporal Vortex. So these were a Doctor Who themed set that I found on Etsy, and I am very excited that I will have them definitely ready to wear before November when the 60th anniversary comes out. I do have another pair of socks. So these ones I just cast on this week. This is currently car knitting, so I'm not very far. This is using Potions and Pearls in the Toadstool Cottage sock set. Make sure I keep my labels organized, sorry. So I am kind of back to knitting in my comfort zone where I have 2 pairs of socks going in tandem. I have everything inside yarn cozies, so seeing the color of the yarn is going to be a little bit weird. So there was the red mini, and then it is blue and brown and red and white. And that part is, there's just not a lot to see yet because I have 2 cuffs and I have just started on the leg of this one. They're going to be a little bit taller again. I did a 20 round cuff in a 3x1 rib. No real reason why, it just sounded like fun. And I'm thinking I'm going to do either 30 or 40 rows before doing the heel. I have not entirely decided what kind of heel I'm doing. I'm just kind of going as I feel. I have kind of thought about doing a slip stitch heel on a heel flap, or maybe a garter stitch heel. Something just a little bit more interesting. I'm planning on doing the red for the cuff and the toe, but not necessarily the heel, to keep it a little bit simple that way. But exactly what kind of heel I'm doing. I haven't entirely decided. When you see these again later, maybe I'll already know by then, or maybe I'll still be deciding. We'll see how far I get on them. So the last project I have to show is a shirt. I believe I've shown it before. This is the, I still don't know how to say it, Panopeia shirt from Expression Fiber Arts. And I am using Expression Fiber Arts yarn. I have not caked up all of them. I really need to cake up another one eventually here. The color I'm using is Silvery Seas in the Luster Sport. So it's a 50% superwash merino, 50% lyocell. And it is knit flat somewhere on here. I know I have a little stitch marker. It is hiding because I was not very far last time. So you can see the little stitch marker way down here. So yeah, it is knit back and forth. I'm currently working on, I believe it's the front panel. You start at the bottom with the ribbing, a whole bunch of stockinette, and then eventually it's going to get to a lace panel that'll be up here. My current plan is to knit one side with the stockinette and then maybe do, like, knit the front with the stockinette and then do the back with the stockinette and then do the lace of both. So instead of finishing one panel and then having the entire other panel left to do, it'll be a little bit more like when I do my socks in tandem and I finish one lace panel and then it's cool. Now just onto the lace panel of the other one. I'm also hoping it might keep me a little bit closer to similar tension in stockinette and lace so that it fits. Like, I really just don't want the lace panel or the lace panels or stockinette panels to be deeply different tension. So hopefully this will help. But yeah, there's not a lot to really say about that one yet because it's just a whole bunch of stockinette that is in progress. Hopefully it will look much cuter next time I show it to you. Other works in progress I am still technically working on 2 year-long make-alongs, the Alt Knot Stitch and Scream blanket. I'm mostly up to date on that one. I'm working on July's square, so I'm still sort of behind on that one. And I'm thinking I may start sewing some of the squares together so I feel like I'm getting closer to a blanket. I just haven't been showing it every single time halfway through the square anymore because it feels like you're just looking at half a square, full square, half a square, full square. That's not exactly exciting. And then with my Advertence shawl from Expression Fiber Arts, I just have not made any progress on it since last time. So I am still working on June, only the first repeat of June. I was making a lot of progress for a little bit and then other projects made more sense to work on at different times. With the mosaic knitting on that one, there's definitely some times where I just feel like I need to focus on it more than I have availability to focus on it, so I end up just not working on it. So those ones you will see again, just maybe not every week. Alright, so zooming right along, I just have a little bit of acquisitions here. I have 2 subscription clubs to share with you and a couple of new hooks. I really haven't gotten a lot of new yarn recently. I've been trying to be very good. I do have some more coming. After I passed my last class, I made a deal with myself that if I pass my final, I get to buy myself 1 sock set off Etsy. If I pass it like really, really well, I get to buy 2, and I did miss the mark. I got a B on my final instead of an A, but I still passed the class. And then I have another couple coming as reward for potential good things at work, but none of them are here yet, and I know I have 1 more monthly subscription still coming, so next time there'll probably be a lot more acquisitions. Almost sounds like I'm apologizing for not having bought enough yarn. So this time around, this is the Fiber of the Month Fiber Club from Paradise Fibers. So recently it seems like almost every other one is based on art, and this seems to be based on the Annunciation. I had never heard of this particular piece of art. I'm sure that's not really in focus, but that's kind of what it looks like. And, oh no, I just dropped my pretty picture with all of my information on it. Okay, sorry, that was ridiculous. So the colors that I have with it is, this is Mary's Robe. It is 75% blue Shetland wool and 25% natural white airy silk. And this is the color Angel Wings. So it's a 75% red Shetland wool, 25% shimmering gold mulberry silk. So recently I have also received, I know they did one based on Starry Night. They did one based on the girl with the pearl earrings. So I'm kind of hoping that I'll get more random art inspired ones. It's very pretty. It also came with a Eunice sticker. So there that is. And you can see she is dressed like the angel. Well, come here then, Lucy. Yeah. Come here. Oh, I know you want to say hi. Oh. I'm going to say sorry. The puppy had to come in and say hi, of course. She doesn't like it when I'm sitting in this chair without her anymore. The stitch marker it came with, it's there, I don't know why I ever tried. They never really focus, but it is a pair of angel wings, and then it also came with a little cedar acorn, which is just fun. So yeah, that was my rambling on about the Paradise Fibers Fiber of the Month Club. I'm definitely, I feel like I'm always behind on spinning. I definitely have a good stash of wool to spin through at some point here. Hopefully you will see more spinning soon. I always mean to, but then setting up my wheel, everything gets just a little bit more complicated, and I don't. So my other club that I received is from So Happy Jane, her hand-dyed Happy Yarn Club, and her theme, I was going to say, I guess, spoilers, I do tend to get it very, very quickly as I live close to her, so if you also get this and don't want to see it yet, might be a really good time to turn away. But the theme was ice cream, and came with a little packet of freeze-dried ice cream candy, which I have never had anything like this. Pretty soon I won't be able to say that anymore. A pen with an ice cream cone on it. I'll probably take that to work. I work with kids, so they will love that. And then these were the colors of yarn. So I feel like the orange is coming out a little brighter on there than it is in person. But this one seems decently true to color. Maybe switch in place. I don't know. Yeah, the orange looks a little bit more muted and pumpkin-y to me in person than the camera is picking up. I really like these. I'm not usually a really big orange person, but this creamsicles are kind of one of my favorite popsicles, and that definitely has the creamsicle vibe there. I am not entirely sure what I'm doing with all of these. I have been using some of them for my Advertence shawl, but the last 3 months have been on a slightly different base. She usually uses the Happy base, and this is the Joyful base, where it went from a fine merino to an extra fine, and I probably could still combine them. I don't know if I will or not, or I may just take the whole 3 months of summer with seashells, ice cream, and I don't remember what the last theme was off the top of my head, but I might just combine all three of them into some sort of a summer themed shawl. Yes, I know, Lucy, I know. So the last acquisitions that I have, I did get 2 new crochet hooks. These are both from Furls. I feel like I haven't shown new Furls hooks in a little while. But these are both part of their Odyssey line. So their Odyssey line, as you can see, they are metal hooks. These are both a size E. And they have this nice soft grip, still ergonomic handle. One of the reasons why I do like to get a few Odysseys is with the metal, you can usually get smaller sizes than you can get with the resins. But they still feel like this, the shape of them still really works well for me. Odysseys are one of those that tend to be high in demand. And I'm not exactly sure why. I don't know the ins and outs of crochet hook production, but they tend to always have a shortage. So when they release some, they will release them. If you don't get that notice right away, they will probably be sold out, especially in the smaller sizes. So I got very lucky where I just happened to be home at the right time and checking my email when they released these. So I got a pretty pearly white and a lavender to add to my collection. And that is all I really have for today. I feel like I've just been making slow progress on a few projects, ones that it's not really showing a lot. I was very happy to have some finished objects to share this time. As, you know, sometimes when you're working on big projects, you work and you work and you work and you feel like you don't finish anything. I have a few other big projects that I want to do, and I've already kind of committed myself to a few projects, obviously. I'm really hoping to finish the Love Story socks soon so that those are not anything I'm stressing about anymore. I do have some knitting that I wanted to plan to do for Christmas, which it's July. That seems like a really far time away. But also if you need to get, if it's big project or projects, sometimes you really have to plan and start early, and that's kind of where we are with that. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to be working on soon, but I am hoping that once I finish a couple of these, I can feel like I have space for others. I tend to keep certain projects in certain areas, so it's one of those where once this one's done, this project will move to working on there, and I mean, it all makes sense in my head. I may or may not be back next week. We'll see if I have anything more to share, and I may actually take a few weeks off with traveling, and I am just a couple of weeks away from finishing my last classes. I am very close to being done with school. I know the data blanket doesn't look like I'm very close to being done, but that's just because it's very, very behind. So I may disappear for a few weeks, but I have plans on coming back, so hopefully I will see you soon with some finished objects and new projects, and until then, happy making!